Thank you for joining me for another Thrift Flip video. This time I have a Christmas DIY for you made with IOD Holiday Collection, and it is the Santa Mould. So stay tuned to the end to see how it turns out. I picked up this sign for, I believe, $2, and it is already a really pretty sign, at least the saying, and I thought it's a little outdated looking for me, and I wanted to use it for my Christmas sign. It needed to be sanded really well because there's some rough edges on it, and to get those thick layers of paint off. So I took it out and I sanded it down, and I got up, some of that green, which I didn't mind having that green because I can just paint it, it's already smooth. So now I'm using some Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint to cover the base of this, and I ended up giving it 3 good coats. So first I'm going to use the IOD Tree Stamps, and they are so pretty, and they come with these little cutouts where you can utilize them to see how you want to put them on your project, and then also you can cover up the area that you've already painted or stamped, and then stamp over it so it looks like it's behind that first tree. It's pretty cool. So I'm deciding where I'm gonna do this first big tree, and this tree is really super cute, and I'm gonna use some chalk paint here, and this chalk paint is moss, and I've learned by watching other YouTubers that if you put it on the brayer first, then it goes on easier on your stamp, and you're not over inking it or putting too much paint on it. So I'm just putting a little bit out on the parchment paper, and then I'm going to roll my brayer in it to get it on all areas, and then I'm going to roll it over my stamp. And another thing I forgot to mention is putting the stamp on the protectant plastic sheet that they have that comes with it. It's easier to work with the stamp on this, and then you just wipe off that excess that's gotten on there somehow. And also, if it's a crooked tree, it's a crooked tree, because that's how trees are anyway in real life, and then you can kind of straighten them out with other trees around it. And I sped up this video, but you want to press down gently all the way around, make sure it's all on there, and look how pretty it comes out. I didn't have enough on the bottom there, and then some actually come over, but if you have a wet rag and chalk paint, it just comes right off. And also, I think the ink will do the same. So now I'm picking out my next tree that I want to use and doing the same exact thing I did before. And using these trees are so much fun. Once you get it down, they are pretty easy to use. And if you have enough room for your bigger projects, that would be nice too. But it just turned out really pretty. And once you get it down too, you know kind of how much paint to put on each thing, or ink, because this one turned out really pretty, this tree. And it covers up some of that tree that's already there. So here is where I'm using the cover for the tree that I just stamped, because I want this tree to look like it's behind that tree. And so that's why I use this one. So then I'm leaving that one there and using the bigger tree cover so that I can put this tree behind that one to look like there's more trees growing behind those trees. And you'll just want to keep doing the same thing till you get the desired look that you're going for, in front or back, and it's just so fun and easy to use. I just love doing it, and it turns out really pretty. So to add some dimension with the trees, I thought it'd be cute to have a lighter color, and this is some leftover Chalk Couture ink paste that I have, and it's in the color Pesto. So I'm using one of the trees, and I want to make it look like it's in the back there. So I'm going to cover it up again and make sure that the ones in front are covered, and then use that paint in the back. So this is going to make it look like there's a few different colored trees. And I only need to do the half top portion of it because it's not going to show the bottom part because of the covering of the other trees there. So it, you know, you can play with it and just do whatever looks good to you. And I just kept kind of eyeballing it and adding more of the lighter trees, and then it just made it pop. If you can see that, it just gave it more dimension. And see how I have that cricket tree, like I said? Well, now I can straighten out the picture with this tree in the background, and it helps it out a lot to make it look more foresty. So it's just really neat that you can cover it up to put the tree on the back of it, or just leave it if you want it in the front part of the picture. And I just had a lot of fun. And the one here, I decided to change the color to the lighter instead of the darker, and it just added a little bit more dimension to it. And then I did another tree of the same one on the side, and it looks darker. So, oh, and make sure to dry your paint in between each step that you're covering, because you obviously don't want to smear it. So I should have mentioned that. So in between each of these, I had waited, or I used my hair dryer to dry it quickly. So you just want to play with it and just do whatever looks good to you. And this is how it turned out for me. And of course, some of them I had to go back, like this one, and redo it so it was darker to make it look a little better. And then another one I had to redo that was in the darker paint here. And it was a lot of fun, and it just turned out so pretty. I loved how it turned out. It's really pretty how it is. I could say Merry Christmas and be done. But there's more to this picture. So let's move on to this step. This is the IOD Santa mold with the reindeer and presents with it. And I'm going to use some air dry clay. So now I'm using some water with the air dry clay because it has gotten a little stiff, and just making it a little bit softer. And I'm just spreading it out over the sleigh mold and trying to get it as even as possible and pressing into it. I should have used some cornstarch on this beforehand. That's the normal way you're supposed to do it, but I totally forgot, but it still didn't stick. So I should be okay. So you just want to spread it out best you can, and then make sure that that back part is very soft and straight and flat, so that when you put it onto a surface, it's flat. So then now you just want to gently take it out, and it seemed to be just fine. It stuck a little bit, but you want to make sure that it doesn't ripple. And it did a little bit on this once it dried, and I didn't realize it till afterwards, but it still was really cute. So the second time around, I remembered the cornstarch. So I just put some into the mold of the reindeer and tried to get it as much as I could in all of the little areas. And then I shook out the excess and started putting in the clay into the mold, and tried to smooth it out as best I could. So when I was taking it out, I thought, I was being very careful with it all, but it looked like I broke the antler. It got stuck in there, and then the leg was a little broken. So the only thing is that you can, with this clay, you can get some water, and it's kind of like glue. Just make sure that it's really wet, and then kind of smooth it out, and it's fixed. And also, next time I'm going to try to use the amazing resin for these instead of the clay. So you'll want your clay to dry for at least overnight. Mine had sat for a few days before I got to it, and I'm using, it's like the Rub and Buff Antiquing Gold, and I got mine on Amazon. And I'm just going over the bottom portion of the sleigh, and then I'm going to go up and around throughout the area of the sleigh to give it some gold texture. So then I thought it would be pretty to do all the bows and the ribbon on each of the presents that are inside of the sleigh, and to balance out that gold. Then I just did a light brush stroke on top of the texture of the flowers and a little design on the actual sleigh, just to have that pop out as well. So then I thought it'd be a good idea to put some red into the flowers, the poinsettias, and then the presents, and of course Santa's hat and coat. So I'm doing that all throughout this, and in retrospect I think I would have just left it all white with gold, but it did still turn out really pretty, and even with the red in it. And I think it's more Christmassy anyway, but it's still pretty. And the red is just that deep crimson red from Folk Art chalk paint. Then I just dusted over all of the red and everything that I just done with some of that gold, just lightly, as well as Santa's face. So now I'm using this antiquing brown wax for the body portion of the deer, and you want to be careful with the dry clay on the legs and the horns because they break very easily and they're delicate, and I was getting kind of really rough with it, and I broke the one leg and a part of the horns off and luckily they glue on really easily, and it stayed on pretty well. And so I'm just doing all of the body and just doing a light brown antiquing to it and rubbing it back. So then after I got that done, I decided it needed some gold to match the sleigh. So then I'm going to get some of that same antiquing gold and putting it on the harness and on the horns. So then to match the sleigh with the red, I thought I would put a little bit of the red paint on the harness so that it would match. And then I rubbed that back a little bit so it wasn't so dark, and made sure that the gold was still coming through. And I forgot I did rub some gold all over the deer after I did that too. So it's got the antiquing wax plus the gold over it. So now the star I thought would be pretty, just do all gold and just get in all the crevices and make sure it's all covered completely with the gold. And that was really pretty. I love this star. And I don't think I showed you, did I? I'm sorry, this star I made with one of the molds too. It also is an IOD mold, and it's an icicle mold that has a pointed part that would go to the bottom part that I just did the top for this star. And I'm sorry I missed showing you that part. I think I lost the video on it. So now I'm taking some Jolie white wax and just going over the top to kind of mute it out a little bit to look kind of snowy. And I'm going to do that with every piece that I've done so that it all blends together. And now I'm just positioning them where I want them, and I want the sleigh and reindeer to be going over the trees, of course, and the cute little star right there at the top, and I thought that would be really cute. So then I'm just going to take some Gorilla wood glue, and this works so well with the dry clay and any wood surface. I haven't tried any other surface. Oh no, I did try glass when the clay is wet. You want to use it on glass so that it molds. But anyway, It just worked really well, and you just want to put some pressure, but be careful that you're not putting too much pressure on these molds when they're this thin, because they can crack. So you have to kind of be careful. Looked like I was like putting all my weight on it. But be careful, because they can break very easily. And then just put the reindeer on there, and I think I had to wipe some glue off, and that's what you want to make sure that you don't have any excess glue all the way around, because you'll be able to see it. Even though it's white, you'll still see it. And now I'm just gluing the star down. It looks so cute. So then for the finishing touch, I thought it would be cute to put some of that antiquing gold all the way around to kind of frame it in. And then I used some to look like kind of the ground there on the bottom, so that it kind of looked more whimsical, I guess is the word. I don't know, but to make it look kind of more like a scene. And then just went clear around, and then kind of here and there throughout the white portion and in the trees to blend that gold all through, so it kind of looks kind of antique. So I hope you like it, because I think it turned out really pretty, and I hope that you'll try using the molds on something and the stamps. But those tree stamps are so much fun. You can do them with anything. So then I just took some white wax and went over the gold just to kind of mellow it out so it's not so stark, and it turned out beautiful. Well, I hope you like how it turned out. I love it, and I hope that you'll be inspired to try the IOD molds and the stamps. They were so much fun to use. And also, make sure to stay tuned for some upcoming Christmas projects that I have in mind for Thrift Flips, and a mixture of IOD products as well as other products. And if you have tried any of these products and you want to post them somewhere, please share them on my Facebook group, Buffy Designs with Friends. I can't wait to see your products, and I'm trying to build my group up so that we can have a community where we share our items and have fun. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to my channel, and also go through all of my videos and watch them if you haven't seen something, because I'm trying to get my watch hours up so that I can possibly soon be monetized. I'm so close, and I need your help. So if you could share this with your friends, tell everyone you know to come watch my videos to help me out, I would appreciate it. And also join my channel membership, because that will help me purchase more items to bring you more ideas and videos that might inspire you. So with that being said, I hope that you enjoyed my video, and I love you for staying this long, and I hope that you all will have a wonderful day.